Wow, hello everyone.
Whoa, what the hell is all this shit?
This is a game that I played a lot back in the day, and I've been kind of revisiting now that it's technically no longer an alpha. This is Prison Architect. So I think so first of all, this is probably the first of a series that I think at this point we're probably going to just call it like long plays, because we couldn't think of like a better term, I think. Because it's like, we're not going to like show you me building this. I mean, that was initially one idea, to have like a really long recording of me just quietly building this prison. But I think that's incredibly boring. And looking through the footage,
it also turned out to be much longer than you originally said it would be.
Yeah, it ended up being like 14 hours.
So, I'm like, did you seriously have the footage?
Yeah,
of all 14 hours?
I ended up just recording it. I mean, this is after I decided to stop recording. This is a little bit more after that. But yeah, it would have, like, who the fuck's gonna watch that? So this is Prison Architect. The quickest way to describe, okay, first of all, it's a long play because we're going to like regularly check in on these things. I believe when the new Animal Crossing comes out, we're going to do a similar thing with Dan playing it, because Dan is a huge fan of Animal Crossing games, and I've never played them, so it actually would be really interesting to see how that works, because I've actually never even seen it in action.
I think I better clarify right now. I think I'm more a huge fan of Isabelle, the character, than I am of Animal Crossing as a whole.
I can't even,
because she's just the best.
Is she going to be there?
She's the best. Yes, she will be.
Okay.
Eventually, the whole point of the game is to get her back.
Oh, really?
I mean, like, for me.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna be playing the game until I get her back, and then
it would have been sick if, like, you're on like a deserted island.
The Isabelle retrieval arc.
It's an Isabelle retrieval arc.
She fell to the dark influence and went off to go join Orochimaru.
She fell to the Sound Village and now needs to be retrieved. And you'll lose some animals along the way, but it'll still be worth it.
I believe in her, though. She's my friend.
I've never watched Naruto. I only know these details from osmosis.
I watched a fair amount. I got through I even got through like a good chunk of Shippuden, but I didn't stick with it till the end. It was too hard.
I just remembered you'd show me that one episode where Sasuke and Naruto are fighting in the lake, and I was like, wow, a lot of money. And then you showed me another episode of Shippuden.
Well, lots of frames, and the way they decided to animate those frames is like, some of them, like, that seems popular for getting stills from, because there's so many wonky looking faces.
Oh, it's very smeared.
Yeah, there's tons of smears in it, which is like, it looks really interesting and fluid in like in video form, but when you just take a still of it, it looks like shit.
Oh, well, you know.
People are making fun of it like that, but
that's just people who don't know the beauty of animation, you know.
It's true. Yeah. People like, I can't tell you how many people like point at a smear and say like, ugh, look at how well they draw. Like, look, what the hell is this shit? And it's like, dude, that's what motion looks like.
Yeah,
you idiot.
Yeah. You ever took a still of a movie in action? It looks like shit too.
Yeah. Ever tried taking a still photo of someone, like, you know, moving really fast?
Yeah. It looks like shit.
Yeah. Like your face.
I was gonna say your
shit
face.
A shit face.
Okay, so
face looks. Never mind. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say. So just to explain, because people who don't know what Prison Architect is, they're probably like, what the fuck is this? So
yeah, seriously, I don't even know what this is.
This is essentially Roller Coaster Tycoon, but with prisons.
Okay,
that's the easiest.
Yeah, I've heard that explanation before.
Yeah,
and it's very clear that this is a very sim-like environment, because you got a lot of like little NPCs milling about, going about their business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and basically, yeah, because it's like, the idea is, if you don't know, I guess there's some people who probably don't know what Roller Coaster Tycoon is because it's been so long, but it's basically just a simulator, but in a fun way. Like, you don't want to really simulate even like a roller coaster, you don't really want to simulate it for real. You know, it's a lot.
Well, and it should be clarified for people who don't know what it is, that Roller Coaster Tycoon was more about simulating the operation of an entire theme park as opposed to a single roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly. And really, that's a good point, because Roller Coaster Tycoon is a little bit of a misnomer. It's not Roller Coaster Tycoon, it's Theme Park Tycoon, right? Mm-hmm. And Prison Architect is also a bit of a misnomer, because you're not really just the architect. You're also the warden, because you run the day-to-day lives of not just the prisoners, but also this prisoner did something bad, so they're getting their cell checked. It's another thing. My guard dogs aren't dogs. They're little kittens. They give you that option.
Wow, what a prison.
Well, that's one thing. I have decided to create a prison. So right now, if you look in the corner, 67 prisoners. It's a pretty healthy amount of prisoners. 2 more are going to arrive tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So it's a prison that can realistically hold around 70 prisoners, but the prison thinks it can hold 74. I'll explain that in a little bit. So basically, I wanted to. The whole point of Prison Architect is to kind of like, it's almost like a weird, not a weird, but it's a political statement, right? It was designed to kind of show off, like, this is what happens when you do combine prisons with capitalism, right?
Right.
Because it's like,
it's trying to demonstrate the folly of a privatized prison system.
Exactly. Yeah. This is showing you why a privatized prison system can be so awful. Because a lot of the ways people tend to do it, because here's the way you gain money. Oops, sorry. Here we go. The way you gain money is, the vast majority of how you gain money is through prisoner grants, right? So a prisoner grant is just money given to you based on how many prisoners you're taking care of, and if there are high security or not. I've decided to take only the highest security risk prisoners, because the whole point of my prison is to try to demonstrate that if you treat everyone well in a prison, they can be reformed. Now, if you look at my prison grading, my reoffending rate is incredibly low. It's only 4%.
Okay, and reoffending rate would refer to...
Sorry?
Okay, and reoffending rate would refer to the number of people who've been released and then didn't have to come back?
Yes. So that means... No, so that means only 4% of people committed a crime again after prison.
Okay, and if they commit a crime again, do they all show back up at your prison, or is it just the fact that they do a crime again at all?
It's just the fact that they do a crime at all. I think they sometimes do show up back at the prison.
Okay.
But see how it says 130 prisoners have been released?
Yeah.
117 of those were paroled early because of rehabilitation. So a lot of my rehabilitation programs are working. If anyone's familiar with Prison Architect, you'll also notice these don't look like prison cells. So like,
no, they don't.
This is actually like one of the worst cells, really. But look, they have
this looks more like a college dorm room.
Exactly. They have their own shower.
The real prisons are colleges.
They have their own shower. There's a way the system works that it doesn't let you put a toilet behind a door. But I'm trying to.
Wow, they put a whole like laundry basket bin inside a single cell.
Yeah, and then they forgot. It's just a thing that happens, you know. So they I can't make the toilets completely private, but this is as close as I can get by putting it behind some walls. You know, this one's got a chair. They got their own TV. You know, they have their own weights, a bookshelf. Every room has a radiator to make sure that no one's cold during winter. You know, some of the cells are bigger and nicer. This one, they have their own office desk. You know, so if they want to peruse the internet, they can do that. Chest of drawers. This is actually a dormitory. 2 people live in here at the same time.
Wow.
So there's a bunk bed, big TV, big couch. This one's a little more decked out. They got their own pool table, you know, arcade cabinet. They're probably playing some Street Fighter on there, you know.
The more I see of like all the designing that you had to do, like the more I think you might actually like Animal Crossing.
Maybe I would. I don't know. I mean,
well, okay. The issue with Animal Crossing though is it's not as utilitarian. Like pretty much everything that you set up is for aesthetic.
Oh no, everything here contributes to something.
Yeah. So I think that would be the hook that's missing.
Because here's the thing.
Over.
This is how you demonstrate how prisoners are feeling. They have a whole needs chart, and
boy.
So like people gotta pee and poo, but right now that's going up because everyone's sleeping. It's like almost 1 a.m, right? Hygiene's going up because as you sleep, it's been the end of the day. No one's showered yet. They just went to bed. Hygiene's going up. And they have other needs like they want safety. No one feels unsafe. Look how low it is. Environment is how dirty things are. Everyone feels like the environment has been cared for and clean. Privacy. Even dormitories, if you make them large enough, they'll feel like they have enough privacy, which is why this is a particularly large dorm. Exercise. Some people want to take care of it, but a lot of these places have exercises built in, or there's a yard here, or even when they go into the canteen to eat, they have weight benches here so they can work out.
Why do I get the feeling that actual people who run prisons don't have anything nearly this detailed in terms of what they're trying to do with them?
Well, because privatized prisons, man, it's about making the profits, etc. Well, to be fair, I have roughly modeled my prison based on prisons in Switzerland. Prisons in Switzerland tend to actually be kind of like camps like this.
Do they also double as universities?
Well, you say that, but there is a classroom. And so they can come here to learn. There's a class called Foundation Education, and if they pass that, they can try to go for their GED. Unfortunately, the vast majority of people do not want to go for a GED, and
would foundation education be like things like how to pay bills and like how to balance a checkbook?
Yeah, it'd be stuff like that, just like
stuff that they don't teach in actual public schools that everyone needs.
Well, I think it's also like stuff like here's how to read. A lot of prisoners who are coming don't know how to read or write. So it's true.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to make light of those prisoners who can't read, but I was just remembering that Harvey Birdman episode where Harvey ends up in prison because he, murdered Dynamite.
Oh, yeah.
And they show that clip of him, like, learning to read with this, like... social worker who looks like Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. And he starts crying. And I don't know why. There's no real context for it.
They're just doing all of the dumb, like, prison movie tropes. It's amazing. I love that episode.
And it ends with him, like, on a bench, and he's really in the cell, and he's being hugged by someone, and then he's released. So yeah, that's prison life. But here it's better prison. Like, look at these dorms; they're quite nice. Like so some of the dorms, just out of space necessity, the showers are shared, right? There's 2 showers. But that's as much as I'll force people to shower. When they have to shower, they have a shower regime in the morning where they have to shower. But, they're free to go into their own private showers if they happen to be out and about, because, most prisons at the end of the day, they're forced into lockups. They have to go to sleep, right? In my prison, see, the doors are always open. No one is forced into prison unless you did something bad in your lockdown, like this guy. This guy, he stole some tools. So
damn it, Botan.
Yeah,
this is sick of your bullshit, Botan.
Yeah, some of them, I really am. I'm like, I'm sick of your bullshit because I'm taking the worst of the worst. A lot of them come with reputations that really fuck things up. Like this guy. Let's see. Let me try to find. Like this one's strong, right? The strong means hits harder with each punch during fights. So one thing I forgot to mention. This is a women's prison.
Oh.
Yeah. Because the last time I played Prison Architect, I actually didn't get to the last thing they updated was, I think they added death row. This is a prison without a death row. But after that they added all sorts of things, including like, one of the major additions is women. So you can have a female prison. And they do have different needs than men, and they do act a little differently. Because statistically at this time in history, women are not as strong as men. They when they fight, they're a bit weaker, just slightly. They also have different needs, like their need for hygiene is higher than for men. And also their needs for family and other things are higher. Because statistically, women who go to jail tend to have families more often. So it's stuff like that. I just wanted to try it out. It hasn't been terribly different until later on when I expand this prison, because as you can see, I still have this whole property to work with. So eventually I'm going to add more things to this prison. And I'm going to expand it in a way that's very specific for women. But for now, this is a pretty standard prison. The only difference that it happens to be women.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these like these are the early cells I built, right? So this one has a common room that has like, you know, a table that people can sit around in, another pool table, you know. This one is the common room that so during the day, we have one of the programs we have is alcoholics group therapy. So this is the room that it'll take place in, you know. Lots of opportunity for people to improve themselves. So
I see.
I'm gonna fast forward a little bit and just show, because as you can see, two new prisoners are gonna arrive in about 4 hours. So let's fast forward a little bit and just see what their intake is. What is the life of a new prisoner? And the cooks are cooking. And incidentally, the cooks tend to make. I've made it so that meal quantity is high, meal variety is high. So that the prisoners are getting as high quality food as you can get for a prison. Which in this case just tends to be like bacon and eggs and like spinach, I think. And like potatoes.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You know, it's like a brunch, basically.
Can I have a vacation at your prison?
Well, it is still somewhat dangerous. Because these are some of the worst of the worst. It's just I'm trying to give everyone as much opportunity as possible to reform, you know?
I noticed earlier that some of the prisoners had like cuffs on and some didn't.
Yeah, the ones who have cuffs are the ones that are being taken places or they're locked down in their cells because they did something bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to know what that was about.
Yeah, it's just part of the policy. Like this person. This Maya Botan.
Oh, it's Botan again. Damn it, Botan.
Yeah, found weapons. See? So.
That was after she already stole some tools.
I think this might be another Botan.
Oh.
Yeah. You know.
Damn it, Botans.
Gotta poo.
The Botan twins.
Those infamous Botan twins. So, new prisoners arrived. So this one has a fearless reputation in that she is not afraid of threats. And this one doesn't have any reputation. This is a regular prisoner. So they're brought into reception. This is a mod, this prison sorter, because it just takes a lot of like the handiwork out of things. Let's zoom out. They have to strip them down naked.
Oh no!
To give them new clothes. Basically, there's a thing that's really annoying about Prison Architect in that sorting prisoners into the right slots can be tedious because it's pretty manual. So this is a thing that sorts people into the right sectors, because this prison technically has 3 sectors. The vast majority of it is what's called max security, in that they are just the worst of the worst. The others, however, there's 2 more types. Oh, everyone's eating food right now. See?
I see it says eat in the corner.
Yeah. Oh, well, might as well see. Where are they going to take her? I just want to know where they're going to take her before we continue.
Good. You can conveniently stop time.
Yeah. Okay, so where's her cell going to be? It's going to be over here. Okay, cool. So she gets to live in a dorm. And right now, since she's new, she doesn't really have anything to do. So I think she's just going to mill about. But the rest of the prison, as you can see, for example, a lot of people go to church because people have spirituality needs, right? This one's visiting with their family. It's mom and dad. Mom and dad are visiting.
Do
These guys
they get really detailed about the spirituality, or is it just like a church filled just covers it?
Well, that's the funny part. I'll get to it later, but spirituality can mean any religion, which is really funny. So they're cleaning, they're in a cleaning.
Oh, I thought that was a room full of baby Metroids.
They do kind of look like that, except when you get close. When you get really close, they look like. But this is the main.
Looks like secret sauce.
This is the main money production center. As you can see, the prison is in a really healthy profit. This means they make $29,000 a day.
Dang.
Which is a lot of money. And that's even without the prisoner grant. If I took the prisoner grant away, I would still be making $29,000. Quite a bit of money.
I see a ton of circular saws.
Yeah. So this is the workshop. There's three things prisoners can make in the workshop. So out here you can see there's a forestry zone, right?
Uh-huh.
So this is an employee only zone. So these workers are working. But basically trees grow. See, this gardener is working on planting a tree. Trees grow, and then when they're big enough, they're cut down, and the wood is brought here. And the wood can be cut into lumber, like nice lumber like that, where it can then just be sold like that, and for a bit of a profit. Or it can be brought over to carpenter's tables, and these prisoners who took both the carpentry class, the safety class, workshop safety class, and then took the carpentry apprenticeship.
They're making beds?
They make beds. Yeah, and the beds are high quality beds that are then taken back out into the the staff only zone and put onto exports and then sold. Sometimes
is this the dark secret of Casper?
Well, I mean, Casper doesn't make wooden beds, so I don't quite know. Maybe it's filled with wood foam. But the other thing,
how'd they fit it in that box?
Yeah, they do go in like a tiny box, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, look at
that. The other thing is that you notice they're cutting metal, and the metal is for the stereotypical prison making thing, which is license plates. So
yay, license plates. I was wondering when we get to those.
Yeah, so metal is imported and then brought here with their. This is not how license plates are made in real life, by the way. It'd be a whole chain, like like a assembly line, but whatever. They cut them into little license plate, little rectangles.
Have you ever wondered if your own actual license plate was pressed by a prisoner?
It's actually almost certainly likely if you live in California. Apparently, almost every license plate ever made in California is from San Quentin.
Wow.
Yeah, like a specific prison. So they're making license plates here. So let me see real quick. What else is happening? Oh, I might as well. Okay, so these prisoners they've finished working in the kitchen or education and kitchen hygiene. So now they work in the kitchen and they help make food.
Okay.
So they help cook their. This is a prison that's essentially run by the prisoners. Like a lot of it is handled. Like prisoners work on the laundry. Prisoners, are part of the cleaning crew. Prisoners, deal. There's a shop here. It's entirely prison run. There's a library here, entirely prison run.
I think it's fairly common for prisons to employ inmates like for at least menial tasks and stuff that need to be done.
It's true. But this is also a prison, however, where there's more prisoners than there are guards. And this is more than you think because the guards, the ones with the hats and the ones with the guns here are the real guards. Everyone else is a dog guard. So they're not like a real guard. They're just there to sniff out for drugs. So they won't they'll get involved in scuffles, but they're not going to be there to suppress anyone or to do things.
Do you yourself, the player, have a representation within the prison or the map?
That me.
Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah.
I saw him, and I was like, is that the warden? If that's the warden, is it him?
Yeah, so this
Looks just like you.
You can choose the type of warden you're going to get, and this warden I chose is the pacifier. And his special ability, because wardens get special abilities.
overall temperature of your prison?
Yeah, so temperature is like the overall threat level or anger level of the prison.
Oh, okay.
So this is
I thought they were talking about literal.
Yeah, so danger. Danger level is low because 12 prisoners say they are well treated. 3 prisoners have serious complaints. 5 prisoners are shackled in their cells or in solitary. By the way, no solitary in this prison because solitary is torture. So there is no solitary in this prison.
Are you walking all over your desk?
Where?
Earlier, you're walking all over your desk.
Oh, yeah.
You're walking on your chair.
I just sit here and do nothing. That's
He has your legs.
Every once in a while, he does go over to the staff room, at least.
Okay.
And then he eats.
Doesn't he walk on that table next?
Yeah. It's a sim.
That's how he has fun. So sounds fun.
Yeah. I do have 6 armed guards in service, and they are ready to fire. I'll explain later why. Because normally I wouldn't have that on. 8 prisoners say they have been unnecessarily searched recently. That's because with a lot of freedom comes a lot of caveats, because
the cost of freedom is
the cost of freedom is that there's just a lot of protections in place.
$29,983 a day. That's the cost of freedom.
Well, that's the profit of freedom. My psychologist is tired of. Okay.
How does that make him feel?
Every building, including these entrances, has a metal detector on it. So in this case, this is the main entrance as a triple metal detector. The main reason for that is that metal detectors aren't 100. Oh, someone found some drugs.
Uh-oh.
So this guy was found with drugs.
Oh, the prisoner found drugs?
No, the dog smelled the cat smelled the drugs.
The cat smelled the drugs.
Yeah, and then shackled her because she's going to be on lockdown for 6.5 hours. That's wrong. It shouldn't be 6.5. Let me change my policy. Yeah, it should be just 6. There we go. Cool. Where was I? What was I saying?
The
metal detectors. Metal
detectors.
So the metal detectors aren't perfect. So they get a lot of false positives. They also tend to miss things because after a metal detector detects something, this isn't how it works in real life, but it's inactive for 5 seconds. Or something like that.
What?
Yeah. But it's just a game thing. So that's why there's so many metal detectors.
Shitty metal detector.
Well, that's why there's so many of them.
Okay.
Yeah. And every building, even the warden's office in and out, has a metal at every entrance has a metal detector. It has a high power cost. As you can see, I have to have power stations and even a water pump station and hot water boilers. That's an incredibly complicated system that I won't go super into, but basically there's a utilities button.
Oh boy.
And all the buildings,
that.
All the buildings are connected with utilities. So there's there's just water right there. This is how the water is distributed to all of them. All the hot water.
Playing some power grid in here.
Yeah, and there's literally power grid right there.
Wow.
It's a weird mini game with the power. I don't know why I think because his previous game, this is by a company called Introversion Software. I think the programmer is Chris DeLay. And he tends to make things that are really systemy, really intricate. I think their first game, Darwinia. Have you heard of Darwinia? It was I have
not.
It's also a sim game. But it was supposed to simulate the life of AI in a computer, basically.
Okay.
And I think it had similar connecting systems. I don't like the mini game of the power stations too much because the weird mini game is that if they overload, everything connected to the power turns off, right? And then including metal detectors, etc. And then power also turns off if 2 power station circuits touch, which makes no sense to me. It's considered a short circuit, even though that's not how power works. But sure.
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing made sense because it's just okay, just don't overload the breaker.
But also, what? I generate my own power. That doesn't make any sense. That's not how power works. But whatever. It's just... Or create my own water pump station. People just get plumbing. This is how it works. But whatever. It's just the way they set it up, I guess. For an additional, system you need to worry about. Oh yeah. So I was saying metal detectors everywhere. The other thing is that you'll notice some rooms. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah. Some rooms have a phone in it, right?
Okay.
And this yard has a phone in it. And
or a few.
Yeah. The thing though is that they are all tapped.
Oh, okay.
They're all phone tapped, as you can see. And the reason is just a lot of prisoners
Surveillance.
come in with unknown reputation, which means you don't know what their reputation is. And there's only two ways you can really figure out someone. Three ways, really. One is the prisoner is killed. Then the reputation reveals itself. Two is that you put them in solitary, or you put any prisoner in solitary. Bribe them to become a confidential informant, and then a confidential informant can then figure out reputations of prisoners.
Oh, okay.
And the third is phones. I'd prefer to use phones out of all those three options. So
Wait, so the only way to get yourself only way to fashion yourself a rat is through solitary?
yeah, and I just refuse to have solitary in my prison because that is basically torture. So I figure at the very least you get to call, but just be aware your calls are monitored.
Yeah, it's just solitary is just a little timeout.
Well, some prisoners
little timeout for all your senses.
Well, okay. Well, that brings us to here. So this is not solitary, but this is these are two prisoners who are on lockdown permanently. And you see their clothing is different. That's because
they live with armed guards.
Yeah, with armed guards in the hallway. And that's because they are Supermax. The reason they're Supermax is because look at her rap sheet first of all. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, lots of murder.
And she's going to spend
Not good.
130 years.
Oh my god, she even perjured.
Yep. And that's because...
What a bitch.
That's because these are legendary prisoners.
A legendary prisoner.
Yeah, I know. It's such a video game thing. Legendary basically means they come with a ton of reputation things.
Does her card have holographic foil on it?
Basically. I mean, she comes with a pretty extensive biography. A lot of these are player created because Prison Architect used to be in what's it called, early access for a while,
Right.
And then part of the incentive for early access was to create your own biography.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's
so
fun.
because of how dangerous they are, like they're super dangerous, like extremely strong, extremely tough, stoical, which means they don't become suppressed. They're cop. This one is a cop killer, which means prison guards may accidentally kill them. They're also fearless, and they are instigators, which means when they cause trouble, everyone around them also decides to cause trouble. So they are kept in lockdown forever. However, because you're kept in lockdown, you can't usually you can't serve a lot of your needs, right? Because some of your needs are like food, recreation, spirituality, etc., right? So their cells, despite being Supermax, are actually the best at the moment, the best cells in the prison, because they have access to everything they could want. They can exercise. They have all sorts of ways to entertain themselves, including an office desk. They have prayer mats. So this is what I was talking about, why the religion doesn't matter. Because no matter what religion they do, this prayer mat will cover their religion.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, they have their own private shower and toilet. Oh, this one doesn't have windows back here. I'm going to add windows real quick.
So this game has confirmed that Islam is the most mobile religion. The most portable, take it wherever you go religion.
The portability of Islam. I mean, it's just a very convenient religion because all you need is a rug versus a whole.
Yes, there's no more convenient religion.
Yeah, versus a whole church pew. All you need is a rug.
Yeah, barely any rules with that one.
Well, to be fair, I have made them all face Mecca.
Well, good.
I'm assuming we're in America, so they faced east. So there you go.
Rare, yeah. Okay, sure.
So I'm trying to stay consistent. If not, if this is the wrong direction, then let's say I just in another country. But I've tried to make them all consistent.
Good on you.
Yeah, I'm trying.
It's kind of funny that they allow you to just point them wherever the hell to.
just to fuck with their religion.
Like, what's the point? Way to revere shit, prison architect.
Yeah. So that's why their cells are considered the best, because if you look at logistics and room quality, room quality can technically go up to 10, but 10 is like you have like everything in the world. So
is that a fraction? 20/8, as in 2.
No, that means the 20 means this prisoner deserves a room of grade 20. That goes down the more they commit offenses within the prison. But because she's been on lockdown for so long, she has basically been on good behavior, so she deserves a room of at least 20. You can't go higher than 10. So I mean, there's 2 more things I could add here to make them better.
So she deserves to be let out of the prison then.
Well,
because no room you have can match 20.
Well, she has a estimated reoffending chance of 77%. So
it's all right. Just let her get something out of her system. She'll be back.
Not great. And they're all decked out pretty similarly. Then there's a third wing of the prison, which is this. And you notice they're in yellow. Well, this one's sleeping, so you can't see them. But she's in yellow. That's because they're in protective custody. You'll notice their reputations are pretty unique. Strong, tough, stoical, snitch.
Oh, no.
Ex-law enforcement. Snitch. So
if they're orange, it's like something that's gonna get their asses whooped.
So if they went into general population, they would get killed probably, because they are not very popular. If they were cornered in an area where there aren't many guards, and I've intentionally tried not to deploy too many guards because I don't want to, have a prison that's just defined by guards, they will be killed because, even though I'm trying to rehabilitate people and treat them well, like their rooms, like this place is full of couches, they do still have violent tendencies, and I don't want to.
I like that train of couches down the center of the cafeteria.
Sorry?
Yeah, like down the center of the cafeteria vertically. It's like they're all just like kind of staring at each other's like.
Well, I tried to make it as aesthetically pleasing as possible by basically what I was trying to do here was cram in a bunch of as much seating as I can.
Yeah. No, they're all pretending to be a train in the center.
Well, they're actually
with a dining car breaking it up.
A lot of them are actually trying to face each other. So when they sit, they'll be talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I didn't see how
It's a little hard to see with the aesthetic of the game. This one's facing the table, so they can eat at the table with this group. Stuff like that. So because these guys are in an what's it called? Protective custody, they have a different schedule. So regime is basically schedule, right? So Supermax, they're basically in lockup all the time except when to eat. And when they eat, they don't go to the canteen. A guard brings their food over. And these are doors where you can slide a food container underneath. Supermax, or protective custody, they have their own schedule. Their rooms are actually not very nice, as you can see. That's kind of partially because I had to make a protective custody wing rather quickly when I noticed I had a snitch. The other, someone found a spork. Oh, it was in mail. Someone found it before it got to a prisoner. Great. The other is that they don't need to have their needs fully fulfilled within their rooms, unlike these guys who can never leave their rooms, right?
Right.
So let's just speed it up a bit. Cool. And they have their own canteen, a separate one. And under deployment, this is considered a protective custody only room. So, okay, they do their showers, just like everyone else. And then when it should reach.
I like how, while pooping, they have a good view of the billiards match.
I really want to put doors, but in some rooms it breaks it, in others it doesn't. It breaks it in cells, and it breaks them in canteens. It doesn't, and in laundry. It doesn't break them in the workshop. So I have a door behind this.
Huh.
And it doesn't break it in a few other places, like the cleaning cupboard. I don't know why.
Is there a general philosophy behind the difficulty of placing doors for toilets and stuff? Is it just we can't give them a space in which they're isolated from everyone else? Is it? I think
it's just the way it's programmed to consider what is a room.
Okay.
Because some places are. I think the reason why workshops are allowed is because a workshop doesn't have to be enclosed; it can be outside. I think same for no, a cleaning cupboard needs to be inside. So I don't quite know the entire rules. The main reason for the cell is because a cell says a requirement for the cell is that it's enclosed, surrounded by walls and doors, right? And I think if you put a door in between, like here, it thinks it's no longer fully enclosed because of the programming.
I see.
Yeah. So, they have their routine. They just eat like normal. And this room is fairly well equipped for what they need. And then they go to the yard. And the yard is where they spend the vast majority of the day. For everyone else, normal in the prison, it's called work free time. If you want to work, you're allowed to work. If you don't want to work, you can do whatever you want. And work free time is also when they have other programs, like people who want to go to church, or people who want to learn, or people who want to take classes like in the workshop, or sometimes you have to go, they have parole. Right now, one prisoner is up for parole. So eventually we'll see someone going here. Oh, someone
found a thing.
Yeah, someone actually had an escape rope. They were trying to escape. So, naughty Alexis Liu. But yeah, but these guys are just on yard time. So they're forced to go to this yard area. But the yard is, unfortunately, because of the nature of who they are, that they're, snitches and ex-law enforcement, if they ever went out into gen population, it would be very quick until they die. So they have to live pretty much their entire life indoors.
And how long are these people supposed to be in your prison?
Well, some of them are long. I think Clara is quite long, 54 years. But she's already gone halfway, more than halfway. So not bad. Let's see. Natalie Wildly.
Or
so
Widley.
17. Oh, Widley, yeah. And then 21. So some of them are long because they've done some, nasty things like grievous bodily harm. Armed robbery. Yeah, that's a lot. Armed robbery is always a lot. Aggravated assaulting. Wow, you get 6 years for assaulting an officer. That's a lot. That's a little much. I don't know. So yeah. So they have everything they need here. They have phones, but these phones are also bugged. Or tapped.
I mean, why wouldn't it be an excessive amount for that particular offense?
I guess. Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be a petty, long ass amount of time?
Yeah, you're right. The one thing I need to eventually do, in addition I need to make here, is to have so there's a parole room, right? So prisoners who are up for parole have to travel from wherever they are in the prison and go all the way here. Mm-hmm. The problem is that snitches also go for parole. So they have to travel through all of this to get the parole, right?
Okay. I imagine they'd be escorted by guards, yeah?
Yeah, and that'd get them killed. No, they don't get escorted.
What?
Yeah.
Can you make them be escorted?
You have to do it really manually, and often you're just like, oh shit, someone is parole.
Oh, so you just have to
yeah, that's the dumb micromanagey part of prison architect.
That seems like a way too easy thing to just say, well, okay, these guys need protection, just get some guards on them. That's the easiest solution you would think of, but they don't make it easy.
Yeah, they just don't. For whatever reason. So I actually thought I made this max security before, but no. So okay. So for now, they can only up for parole if they go only maximum general population, which is max security, can go over parole in this room. I'm going to make them their own parole rooms eventually. Okay. The parole rooms don't need to be big, so I'll make them their own eventually. It probably goes out from here into there, and these guys will have their own as well. So given the fact that they have to live their entire life indoors, this isn't horrible, but what they gotta deal with.
Need some vitamin D.
Yeah. Is this what are you learning?
It's a fresh fish.
Foundation education. Oh, you're a new prisoner. You immediately wanted to learn. Oh, success chance 100%. So whoever she is will pass for sure.
Good.
And the teacher, all the staff comes from out of house. By the way, they all come in. Yeah, and we have actually 2 psychologists on board, but I think one is at or heading over here soon. But yeah, so that's
the way you pace around in your own office is like, it makes me feel like you're anxious.
I mean, I am a little anxious.
Is everything going okay out there?
I mean, that's pretty much that's the nature of prison architect. You're always going, God, I hope no one fights today.
Oh man, the janitor's in there cleaning your desk.
Yeah, thanks, janitor. But yeah. Oh, and that's the reason why the armed guards have free fire enabled is because these guys are really dangerous. So if they ever pop off, like this one isn't. This is just an instigator.
Are there ever any prisoners evil enough to attack staff for no reason?
Oh yeah,
like a janitor.
Yeah, so it's prisoners called volatile. This one's extremely volatile, right? That means that they are liable to go off and start destruction or trying to kill someone for no reason. And it just happens. So that's why they're in lockdown. So far, she's been good. 105 days without incident. It doesn't cover all of their needs. Like, for example, because she's locked in there forever, her need is freedom, and because she can't go to the alcohol therapy program. Because there's 2 alcohol therapy programs. There's this, which is a group therapy, and there's pharmacological addiction help, which includes alcohol, so they can go to the doctor and help. But she has no access to that, so she's constantly wanting alcohol. She'll have to go cold turkey.
So she's just hopelessly addicted, like I was.
Pretty much.
I know that feel, Sam.
Yeah.
I know.
Hopefully she can beat it cold turkey, but I don't think that's how this game works. She just wants alcohol all the time.
If you just go back to that cabin that you started in, there's a doctor in there that'll help you.
She can't get there though. She's trapped.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Let her go, Marvin. She's hurting. She's addicted to alcohol.
Oh, they're
and
working.
She doesn't even have a cast with her to help.
No, she's just stuck here. So yeah, that's the general state of my prison for now. I think what I'll eventually do, there's 3 things I want to do to expand, because one thing is that I'm a bit greedy. I want to get my cash flow up, and beds are by far the most profitable thing. Like a single bed costs. How much does a single bed cost?
Okay, I think we've gone through this whole video, and I haven't really been able to get a complete handle on exactly what you believe a successful end game is for this prison. Like, when do you consider yourself done?
Technically, if I wanted to walk away from this prison right now, it's probably fine, because this is a self-sustaining prison that's completely stable. I've made over $500,000 at this point, and I make $27,000 a day. So economically, I'm fine. Incidents still do happen just because we have some of the most violent criminals, but you can never really help that unless you completely lock down everyone all the time. and that's not what I want because I want this to be a reforming prison.
Right.
So, in its current state, it's like Roller Coaster Tycoon. In its current state, I could technically leave it like this, and it's probably fine. The only thing that'd be pertinent to change is probably parole. I would give them each their own parole rooms so that they're safe, or that these guys don't cause trouble when they go into parole.
Sure.
But my general plan to expand from here is that I want to get my cash flow going up even higher. And beds are by far the most they make the most profit. So right now, oops, that's not what I want. Logistics, there we go. Prison labor. So under prison labor, it's hard to see because it's overlapping with the room closet, but there's 93 jobs available here. And that's very small compared to other places. So this is 4, this is 2. Only because these places are like, these are, for whatever reason, these are jobs where you don't need training in. They can just start working in right away.
Okay.
So like laundry. The laundry makes sense.
Well, wait. Would a prisoner working in the library actually gain you revenue?
Not the library. The library is just so the library can function at all.
Okay.
And prisoners.
Okay, so they do distinguish between that. Good.
Yeah, like as books come in, either they come in unsorted from the outside world, or a prisoner returns a book to an unsorted book pile, and then a library worker has to sort them. They're being really lazy. They're not sorting them. They're being really lazy about this.
Starlight's working.
Oh yeah, she is.
Go Starlight, go.
Oh, okay. So this is how I know the system's working. She was a very volatile prisoner before.
Oh, but now she's only normal volatile?
Now it's been 2 days without incident, but what was the last thing she did? Let's see. Destruction. Okay, that's not great. But it's better than before. She's improving. Her reoffending chances actually have improved. So
it's kind of weird to me how like the sprite model for the prisoner, like since they use the same one everywhere, like when they hold up their own sign, the font of their inmate number and name is way sharper than they are.
Oh yeah, it's a weird scaling issue. Yeah, I don't know why they did. I don't know why that was never.
They're
fixed.
out of focus, but their sign's just fine.
Are they unable to sort? I wonder what's going on. Let me try flipping these desks. Maybe I placed the desk. I recently switched the way the desks were oriented. Maybe that's why.
Someone's working. They're both working.
That
working
was
here.
why.
Oh.
Oh wait, no, that wasn't why. They're still not working.
Well, books.
Yeah, and the desks are the right way, because if you did it the other way, these are where the drawers are. Yeah, so they were the right. Why aren't you guys working? Clean up this library.
Never.
Okay, there she goes. For some reason that got it going. Okay. Now she's sorting books. Okay, that's good.
Look, man, they needed to feel up to it. They needed to work
this guy was
up to the
carrying
sorting.
garden shears.
Garden shears?
Yeah, this girl, I should say. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, so one thing you can do, because I'm actually getting a little sick of how many things people are finding. You have to do this every once in a while. I'll do it once they've finished eating.
Kill one of your prisoners to show an example?
Nah, it's you do a shakedown, Mr. Shakedown.
Oh no.
And then you basically shake down your prison and search. So far, they've already found all this shit.
Wow.
People are making shanks, stole knives, forks, medicine, scissors, poison, cigs.
How dare people keep forks?
So let's just speed this up.
It is actually interesting how, like, I can only imagine that this shakedown, once you activate it, actually gets all the NPCs to operate, like, appropriately to show that the shakedown is happening.
Yeah, as far as, like, my available guard count went to 0, because they're all doing the shakedown. And as far as I understand it, this is real stuff they're really finding. Like, it's not, like, simulated. They're really finding it in places that prisoners have actually really hidden things.
Right, like all these AI routines are like actually being run against each other.
Yeah, and that's what made this particular game really satisfying to me, because like you know, part of why we started this channel is because we like to play games a lot, right? Or we wanted to play games more, basically.
Yeah, that was one of my main reasons. Wow.
Yeah, and then and the thing is, I really wanted to figure out a way to get games like this on the channel, because I think at the end of the day, games like this might be my favorite type of game, because I like seeing lots of little systems all working together, and like, you know, just seeing things like just seeing systems in place and just working like clockwork. It's really fascinating to me.
Right, and yeah, like typically, like just straight up playing through a game like this would not necessarily be the best video material, but
yeah, it's just a little tedious. There's a great channel called Many a True Nerd who actually does lots of videos like this. In fact, I learned of Prison Architect because he covered it way back in the day. But Many a True Nerd, just a little inside baseball. It's like he has, because it's his full-time job, he has a lot of time to really edit all of his videos. So he can make content like this really interesting by editing it. Whereas us, like, we would love to edit the content way more. And we try to do that with the compilations and the mini bites, and a lot of the quick plays are edited as well. But just in the grand scheme of things, like, this is kind of more of like our hobby at the moment. So it's difficult to put in, as much as it sucks to say it, like all that effort to really polishing a video. Like at the end of the day, there's other considerations, like our day jobs to keep in mind. So I think this is a good compromise for showing a game like this. It's just like, we'll just go in, show off what's going on, and then have updates later on, because we are planning to make updates where I show what else has happened to the prison. I'm planning to, because there's like a bunch of stuff you can build here, right? And here, and here. And if you notice,
like you can make a yard, like an exercise yard outside, right? Like your typical.
Oh yeah, this was originally a bigger yard. This was a whole thing, but I had to put a power station there, and then I had to put a shower here. So their only yard is here, really. But they don't really mind. It doesn't seem like they really minded that. So, but if you also notice, like, you can buy more property. So I'm eventually gonna build something across the road too. So I think one thing I'm gonna play around with is I need to build more like prisoners, like get this prison count up going, because
build more prisoners.
Yeah, basically. Because this workshop, which I want to be my primary source of income, can hire up to 93 people, but my
and you only have 69 prisoners at all.
So I want to get way more going in. That's the capitalism part of this. That's sort of filling in.
Oh yeah, actually that was the other part of the question I wanted to ask you. It's like your actual attitude while playing this. Do you feel the folly of capitalistic prison systems, or do you just fall into it and be like, yeah, money?
Well, it's a little of both is happening, honestly, because I'm like, yeah, money. Like but at the same time,
why wouldn't you be money? If you're also actually the one profiting, why aren't you being money?
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, I could build a really shitty prison, right? And just and make a prison. It's actually extremely tedious to build prisons like this. I have to design hallway systems and like fill it with things. The only thing that needs to be in a cell, just to let you know, only thing that needs to be in a cell is a bed and a toilet.
Right.
Nothing else needs to be in a cell. And if I want it to be really shitty, I can just make holding cells, which is just rooms with people in it. You can tell it doesn't even need a bed.
Oh yeah, that's some real corner cutting shit though.
Yeah, that's because
that's supposed to be a temporary place.
But a lot of prisons just use that as a regular place to store people for long term, you know?
Boo.
Yeah,
Don't like that.
Yeah, exactly.
We need more ethical capitalists like you.
Well, I don't know if I don't know if I'm an ethical capitalist, considering I want to build my prison bigger so I can make more beds to sell.
No, man, just be.
So that's not.
Keep everyone happy.
I'm trying to live as ethically as possible within endgame capitalist means. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Ooh, someone found a watch.
Several decades from now, would you be Spacer's Choice, Auntie Cleo, or what the hell was the other one? I almost said BNL, but that's Lolly.
Oh yeah. It'd be amazing if they just put in BNL.
Yeah, just put in by and large.
It's not trademarked, I bet you. So
you don't know. You never know. Because BNL is a logo they had to put on a bunch of like merchandise too.
That's true.
They probably had to copyright something.
Well, I'd probably be Auntie Cleo because I think Auntie Cleo is actually Phineas. So, well,
right.
So we'll see. So yeah.
Yeah.
If this is definitely dating the video, we still haven't reached the part of Outer Worlds where we know if Phineas is indeed Auntie Cleo or not.
Okay,
I'm actually starting to doubt it.
About it. Now that you're still talking about it, I just like I was laughing like a couple seconds ago because I'm just thinking like what moment are we waiting for in that story where it's like, haha, it was me all along. Like,
well,
what good will that do?
It might happen. I don't know. If it did turn out to be him, you would have that moment, right?
I guess, but I don't know. It just seems like, what information do you gain aside from the fact that he cross-dressed and posed for some photos?
That he's a secret owner of one of the corporations, right? That would be a twist. And he's actually doing it because it's not for freedom; it's for a leg up.
Okay, my scenario was more like he was hired to just be a model for that.
Oh. Why? Why would that be the case?
Why would he be Auntie Cleo?
Because it's a cover. You know? It's all a cover.
Okay. We'll see.
But as the game has gone on, I don't believe that as much.
Nevertheless, if it turns out that he is Auntie Cleo, I owe you a...
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Oh, something was happening. So, destruction and attack staff. Oh, did that cause... Oh, I still have... Okay, that didn't cause incident. Technically, it's not an incident, so I still have 2 points.
And in church.
I know. For shame.
How come one prayer mat is slightly askew? Is that the destructed property?
She was peeing on it.
Oh my god.
That's
fucked. You can't just do that.
It's pretty
This is an inclusive chapel with prayer mats on one side and pews on the other. You can't
Well, that's the thing. That's what they call it. Let me find the chapel. Chapel. There it is. What happens when a bureaucratic committee gets together and designs a solution to inmates' religious needs? A multi-faith prayer room. That's what.
Multi-faith prayer room sounds way too real. That has to be what it's actually called.
It might actually be. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no doubt whatsoever that that's actually a thing.
They need a bathroom in there? Is that why they peed? I don't know.
Is that blood on the floor?
That's blood. Yeah, she got fucked up.
Oh, okay. But just fucked up, not killed? Like
no one died. No one died.
Yeah. Damn, that's a lot of blood for just a scuffle. That looks more like a death.
Well, you know, it's a simulation. It's so from a distance you can go, oh shit, blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's slightly like Mortal Kombat with exaggerated gore.
Yeah, and when she dies, she explodes in a pile of bones.
Only a couple of femurs came out there. Only 2. Only 2 femurs.
I wish the modern Mortal Kombats like leaned into it more.
Oh yeah, I want to see multiple skulls and rib cages come out.
Because that's the thing. It's like they made it. So the problem with making it super realistic is that it just made it icky.
Yeah,
you know? It's no longer like fun. It's just like, oh, that's disgusting. And like fucking animators are getting PTSD from looking at cows and shit getting decapitated. It's like awful.
Yeah, honestly, that is like a real problem. I don't like knowing that staff at Netherrealm is like, ruining their souls just so that they can have like a neat little gross out moment.
Yeah,
in
it's really gross. There's like okay, there was one I saw in Mortal Kombat X that made me go, okay, they should do stuff like this way more often. And it was if you're playing, you know how they used to have faction battles?
Yeah.
So one was you could be special forces, and a faction fatality in special forces was a satellite beam cannon shoots down from space and hits them, and they turn into a perfectly white skeleton. And I was like, oh, do that way more often.
Okay, yeah, that is pretty good. Like a perfectly bleach white skeleton.
Yeah, it was great. I was like, this is great. Why won't you do that more often?
Yeah, less of the pull legs until they split down the middle sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like, even that's like kind of comical, but there's like one, like the one that always comes to mind for me is Scorpion in MKX, where he slices off the front of the opponent's face, and then you see the tongue inside wiggling. It's just like, we don't need that. We don't need that. Or like, Takeda shooting his cable into someone's mouth and then pulling out their esophagus. We don't need that. Let's not do that. That's no longer.
I can't remember how, like, I think each description isn't like the same thing as watching it happen. Like, how it's presented is a really big factor.
Because you can do it in a really funny way. If it looked like, like Dolomite or Black Dynamite,
Like, do you remember that part? Or do you remember watching that when Adult Swim was airing Korgoth the Barbarian?
Yeah.
And like, there's only like 4 episodes or something of that entire thing, but one of the gags in the first episode is like he just rips some guy's face off, or like the whole front of his skin off.
Yeah.
But then they make it really funny because he just starts screaming and screaming.
Yeah, do more of that.
And people scream because they see what's happened to him, and it's just a lot of good, funny screaming.
Yeah, do that more, Mortal Kombat. Well, what do I know? They make a shit zillion dollars.
Yeah, they are definitely, like, they're the best-selling video or fighting game of its year.
Yeah, and I think they make the most money out of all the fighting games.
Save for maybe Smash, but Smash is not
Smash
really a game if you think about it.
Smash is people who play Smash aren't really people if you think about it. Yeah.
No, yeah. I can feel my humanity slipping away every time I start playing Smash.
Every session of Smash is a deeper sink into the pit hole of hell.
I get fatter and smellier every second.
Oh man, there was that one time I hosted a Smash get together in our apartment. I still feel bad about that because I did not.
No. Let's not tell that story here.
Oh man. That was.
We've got enough tangents on this one.
Well, that's how the video kind of ended out being at the end. Yeah. Well, anyway, again, this was Prison Architect. I'll be back to show Dan some.
I want to see just how profitable you can get. Cause
I think I can get it
now.
Absurdly
You have about $500,000, making a little under $250,000 a year. Or I mean a day, which is a lot of money. But
yeah,
you can stand to make more.
Yeah, I can lean deeper into the capitalism.
You can exploit more people.
Yeah.
I mean, you're creating jobs. That's what you're doing.
They are paid 50 cents an hour.
Oh, well then.
Look how much
could you ask
wages
for?
are. Prison wages $333 a day.
Wait, what reason do they have to complain? Roof over their head, 3 square meals a day.
Oh no.
Purpose in life, making beds. Seems like a pretty sweet setup if you ask me. I want to go to prison.
Well, to be fair, I do think that the stuff in here is most real life applicable when they get jobs in the future, as well as the kitchen, which is why those are the 2 areas with the most jobs. That's why I did that.
For the record, I'm only saying all this stuff because I've actually totally heard people say things like this.
I know. I know. What are they doing? What?
They're
just
contemplating.
This one's named Sombra Hacker.
Sombra Hacker. One of the world's most notorious hackers. Sombra uses information to manipulate those in powder. Oh man, they could have done more with that description.
Yeah. Oh, Sophia. She was one of the prisoners I followed in once.
Okay.
How is she doing? Oh, still 35. Still 35.
Is reform better when it's higher?
Yeah. So the higher it is, the more reform things they're doing. Like they're going to programs.
Okay.
They're working. Punishment is how long they stay. So I'm doing a bit of a cheat. By having armed guard. Well, it is practical to have armed guards in the canteen, but by having them in the canteen, armed guards naturally suppress, and suppression is how you get punishment up. So she has 146% of the stay suppressed, which doesn't make any sense, but that's just how it ended up. Yeah, the health is broken in this game, which is why health remains 0. It literally doesn't work because health is based around
health is a very nebulous metric in general.
Well, the points it gives you, right? It says you get points for being well fed and exercising, right?
Yeah.
They do eat and they do exercise. It can't be 0%.
Yeah.
They eat twice a day, so it's something's broken with that part of the game, and I don't know what, but whatever.
All right.
I know in my heart.
Don't worry, it's still an early access. Oh wait.
Nope.
It's not an early access at all.
Yeah, if any, it's actually been sold to another company.
Oh, really?
That they worked with. This company did all the iPad and iOS ports.
Oh.
So, but after they sold it, the game kind of got shitty. There's like an EXO.
No.
So
they handed the keys over from the keys to the prison have been handed to a new warden.
Yeah. So you see how there's this button called. First of all, they added this. This new company added this term, criminally insane. That's a great term, sure.
You're so insane, it's criminal.
Yeah,
it's a crime to be as crazy as you. Do you understand?
If you enable it, it breaks the game. Because what happens is that if your prisoner's needs aren't taken... Like, for example, this one wants luxuries, right?
Uh-huh.
Luxuries you buy at the shop, but if you never go to the shop, your luxury need will never go down. But that's how it works sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But if a need stays high too long, they go criminally insane. And they literally suddenly are wearing a straitjacket and are bouncing around and pooping everywhere, and they need to be put in a padded cell. And that's not how prison works.
Oh, I thought that was going to just be an excuse to start, putting in supervillains from Batman or whatever.
No, it's just they just act like insane for no
it's like,
real reason.
here's our new inmate, Othward Mobblebot, and he's the Pinguino.
El Penguino. Well, it's just because then, like, if you follow the logic of that, she would go insane because she hasn't had a magazine in a week.
Yes.
Like, that's fucking crazy.
How about you?
I've left that disabled because it's stupid.
Speak for yourself.
But if you do see them, as you can see, death row is a thing, and there are other types of security, right?
Uh-huh.
So I think eventually I will expand in a certain way. So I guess that's it for now.
As your final act as warden, you should enable criminal insanity.
Well, if I when I'm done with the prison, maybe I'll turn it on and just see how this place falls apart.
Wait until it's all straight jackets and poops.
Oh, there is another thing that it's legit. I just turned it off for this part. There is a gang system, but
that makes sense that there would be.
But I disabled it because gangs. There's no fundamental way to make gangs a sustainable system. You're constantly rebuilding your prison over and over again. And it's just not very fun in my opinion because the way the gangs work don't necessarily make sense. It makes sense in a game sense, but doesn't make sense in
Okay, I was about to ask if like a crucial actual component of prison running is like has to be disabled in order for a working prison to function at all. Well,
so I would like to enable gangs, but the main issue is that the gangs just don't run like a gang would in a real prison. For example,
that would be the reason to switch it off, because
because like they do take over territory, which makes sense. That's how it works in prisons as well. The main thing that happens is that gang leaders tend to be marked as legendary, right?
Okay.
And legendary causes a lot of problems, right? But that's, first of all, gang leaders don't tend to work that way. Gang leaders tend to do nothing. They have a whole crew doing things for them. That's why they're the leader. So it's
that's
really
how it's supposed
odd.
to be.
So, sorry?
Like, that's how it's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really odd that they come in super volatile and violent. And then the other issue is that when you put a gang leader in permanent lockdown like this, they're gang riots, which is also not how prison gangs work. Because that happens constantly. So aside from being just a big challenge, it's also not super fun, and it's also not really realistic. So I turned it off.
All right. Because if it did operate realistically, then I would,
I would totally activate it. Because the idea of gangs carving out territories and you have to figure that out, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awful in real life, but I mean, like, it's cool. It's cool in the sense that it's realistic to that would be realistic to the way gangs work in real life.
Yeah, that gang violence, it's cool.
It's really cool how gangs, manifest in prisons.
How much of this prison would fall to the opioid crisis?
Well, there's only 3 gangs in the game, and it's the red gang, the blue gang, and the green gang.
Well, I guess you can sidestep quite a bit of racist stuff that way.
Yeah, you can't have I guess you could have a color war. You can't have like a race war, because I won't really.
Yeah. And in this war, everyone's colored somehow.
Yeah.
So you can't turn that into a thing.
Yeah.
It's very good that they don't have a white gang or a black gang. Or a brown
or yellow gang. They dodged that. They could have easily had red,
they
blue,
went
green,
for
yellow.
all the good colors.
I mean, red may not be great either.
Yeah, sure.
But because they did RGB, it's very clearly,
there's benefit of the doubt to
you
to lean onto.
Yeah.
Watch, the devs are just super racist against Native Americans. What
a great note to end on.
All right, bye. Bye.
We'll be back with another update, but for now, this is my prison so far, which I never told you the name.
Oh yeah, what's the name of your prison?
It's a Swedish name. Let me show you the name. I don't remember the name because it's a Swedish word. It's Drottningsleden.
Ningensleden.
Drottningsleden.
Oh man, the Ningen in the middle is effing me up because that's the Japanese word for person.
Oh, well, this is, from what I could tell from Google Translate, this is supposed to mean Queen's Trail.
Oh.
Because my old prison was called Happy Trail.
And these are names that you came up with.
Yeah, I came up with it because I wanted it to model it after the ways Swiss prisons are run, and it's a women's prison, so it should be Queen's Trail.
Wait, Swiss and not Swedish then?
Swiss, yeah, Switzerland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's Prison Architect, everybody. We'll be back with another installation, and but for now, goodbye.
Bye, Drottningens Ladle.